Hi there, and welcome to this podcast to help you learn more about natural animal health. There's a whole world of complementary therapies and holistic approaches to helping your horse, dog, other pet or other animal to live a naturally healthy lifestyle. The aim of this Animals Naturally podcast is to help you discover more. So, I'm Suzanne and I'm founder of Taranet, a leading international natural animal health consultancy and business consultancy at taranet.co.uk. This episode is going to give you 3 tips on how to care for your horse's wounds naturally. Although I'm referring to horses, this equally applies to ponies and to donkeys too. So finding your horse with a wound is always unwelcome, but what can you do to help? First of all, assess whether you need the vet. Every wound is different. Where it is on your horse's body, the length, the depth, and any other symptoms will make a difference to the response. If you're in doubt whether you can manage it yourself or it's clear your horse is in distress, then speak to your veterinary surgeon as soon as possible. If stitches will be needed, then the quicker the vet can do this, the better, so don't delay. Some vets have the facility to enable you to send photographs of your horse's wounds direct to their smartphone, so they can then see an assessment over the virtually. But if you're not sure, you're really concerned, then speak to your vet. They will always prefer to come out to help your horse rather than delay treatment, which could then lead to a negative outcome. So how can a holistic approach help equine wound care? There's many holistic approaches that you can use to help manage your horse's wound care. In this episode, I'm just going to share with you 3 tips which are always useful to know about, as you never know when your horses could get a wound, as they often do at unexpected times. But there's a huge variety of other therapies you could possibly use as well. Now, you may be wondering if herbs or other complementary therapies actually work. Well, I think it's important to remember that as with absolutely any medication, whether synthetic or natural or with many chemicals or not, every horse and every wound is different. So a lot of the time, yes, they will work, and other times it may be a no. This equally applies to any health situation. So number 1 tip is using the herb aloe vera. This is a herb which has been used for centuries, including for veterinary wound care. Research has taken place several times over the years showing that aloe vera can help. More recently, research was carried out in 2022 which looked at how efficient fresh aloe vera gel was on the healing of large cutaneous wounds of the forelimbs in donkeys. It was concluded that the aloe vera gel can be successfully used as a topical treatment to improve and enhance large cutaneous wound healing in donkeys. I'll post a link in the show notes to this research. The next therapy is low-level laser therapy. This is a form of light energy and sometimes known as cold laser therapy. Low-level lasers are intended to have biological effects on tissue without causing damage. This is unlike the lasers that are used in surgery, which have a far more powerful effect than cold laser therapy. Laser therapy is used for several reasons, including to help with equine wound care. The third tip is Manuka honey. Honey can be applied to wounds, but Manuka honey, which comes from very specific places in New Zealand, is thought to have very helpful antibacterial properties. Manuka honey comes from the flowers of a bush native to remote, unspoilt areas of New Zealand. You can check the quality of your Manuka honey product by seeing if it has the unique Manuka Factor quality trademark. Not all Manuka honey is the same, so choose carefully to get the best. A bonus tip on how to care for your horse's wound care naturally is if your horse is stressed or anxious, which can easily happen if they're injured, and it may be as a result of the wound, direct because it's causing them distress, or it may be as part of the treatment that your horse needs to be is quite anxious about having wounds dressed and attended to, or maybe even on box rest, then trying back flower remedies which can be useful in helping the majority of emotional states, including in crisis situations, can be a great tip. Rescue remedy is probably one of the most well known, but there are 38 different remedies, and they can just help provide with different calming potentially, and if your horse is anxious or stressed, it can really be beneficial. So there are 38 different remedies, and I'll post a link to the show notes which gives you more information. So yeah, there's 3 tips here that I've given you on caring for your equine wound care in a more holistic way. So the first is to use a herb like aloe vera. As I explained, aloe vera is brilliant at equine wound care. The next therapy was low-level laser therapy, or sometimes known as cold laser therapy. And the third tip is to use Manuka honey. And Manuka honey, I say, is very specific to certain parts of New Zealand, and I recommend you always choose a product that's got the unique Manuka factor quality trademark. As I said, with any equine wound care or any equine health condition, sometimes complementary therapies won't work, but other times they do. And it's important to take each horse and each individual situation and assess it on its own merits, and obviously take any use of complementary therapies in full consultation with your vet. It may be your vet has to tend to your horse, has to give them stitches, has to give initial dressings. It may be that a holistic approach may be useful a few days down the line. So it's all about having an integrated approach and conventional and holistic medicine working together. That is the very nature of holistic medicine, that it is looking at the whole, and it's not saying that one size fits all. It's about treating the whole animal, which again is where back flower remedies can be useful. Treating the physical cause, treating the physical injury and the wound is obviously absolutely essential, but the horse's mental state, emotional state can be really affected, particularly if they're put on box rest, or just dressing a wound is proving particularly problematic. So having that holistic approach and taking a therapy such as rescue remedy or one of the other 38 different remedies in the back flower remedy system can be really useful. I hope that's been helpful, and if you want any more information on complementary therapies for animals, then do visit my website at taranet.co.uk. Until next time, goodbye.